Hello everyone, I'm Sean Patrick Fannon, president of Evil Beagle Games, co-designer of the Prowlers Paragons Ultimate Edition superhero rule system, which is the game we are using for this, our semi-inaugural Handfuls of Dice show. This is going to be like session 0.5. This is sort of us testing what we can do with the basic level tech that we have. This is going to be sort of in the background for people who are going to go back and look at and see the cool thing that we did, while we lay in all the really cool high-tech stuff going forward. But this is us just kind of getting started, letting my players get a sense of the rules, and us get a sense of our space. Let me introduce my players. Starting on that end, Sammi Seabolt. Tell them about your character.
I am playing the elf diplomat named SHALENDRA. Her main thing is psychic communication and emotion control, as well as protecting the innocent people with magic.
Okay. Next, we have, I'm sorry, what was your last name?
Jensen.
Jensen. Caitlyn Jensen. And you are playing?
I'm playing Ava, aka SUNBURST. She has plasma control pretty much out of her hand. She's kind of just there to be there. Okay. And Michael Jones, you are playing?
I'm playing MORDRIEL. He's our resident angel, or celestial. I have control over holy fire, and it is in my best interest to keep humanity's best interest at the forefront of my fight.
Well done. Ammon
Underhill.
Ammon Underhill.
I'm playing Dr. Joseph Klein, aka Paleo. He's kind of the animal form character of the group. He transforms into a lot of things, but the caveat is he can only transform into extinct creatures. So you should be having a lot of fun with that.
And Kathryn Jones, you are playing?
TIMELAPSE, who is an essence weaver and has complete control over time and is here to help save the world with a little mischief.
Well, there it is. I also want to say that basically Paleo Joe, for all intents and purposes, is a beautiful homage that Ammon chose to create for our hosts. We are currently shooting this in the Red Rocks room of the Best Western Southwest.
Denver Southwest.
Denver Southwest, yeah, Best Western Denver Southwest. I just know it's the Dino Hotel. And the reason why it's called the Dino Hotel is if you ever come here, and you really should, and if you've got kids especially, the lobby, right? I mean, first off, there's like a fun little dinosaur outside, but inside they've got fossils, they've got paleontology and archaeology stuff, they've got some legitimate fossils and skulls and stuff here, and the cafe is known as Paleo Joe's, so we thought it would be fun to have a character with that name.
He's a chef, by the way.
Oh, yes.
So
Paleo Joe's is and stay tuned, because we're probably going to be doing some sideline stuff that will, in fact, get into playing with that. We'll have like a little cooking with Paleo Joe and fun bits like that. So anyway, like I said, we're playing tonight. Now, we did our introduction to you, but now we're just going to play the game, and hopefully you will enjoy as we go forward. This is set in the Modern Gods universe, which is one of the two major settings I'm working on for publication later through Evil Beagle Games, part of what is called the Omniverse. The Omniverse is a multiverse kind of setting where lots of different worlds all interconnect and characters can eventually cross over. Modern Gods is effectively a slightly postmodern, classic superhero setting, but all the bits and pieces you kind of would expect, like from a Marvel superhero universe, cinematic universe, maybe a little bit of DC thrown in, maybe a few other really cool comic books, and cinematic adventure. So we describe things in terms of pages and panels, but at the same time, I tend to think of things in terms of movies. You're going to see a lot of that kind of going back and forth. All right. So, as I told you guys at the beginning, we'll do session 1 will be our big, you join the team and get to know one another. But today, we're going to like flash forward to a situation where you're already a team and you're being pulled into a situation against you're called in to a United Nations facility that is located in Belgium. In this world, the United Nations is a much more powerful organization, and they have regional offices in important places everywhere. Oh yeah, we should have told everybody to mute their phones. That would be me too. Let's do that now, shall we?
On the floor.
Already done. I did that
Then
before.
Inaugural phone silencing.
You two get bonus,
I get a gold
goodies
star?
on you.
They get bennies.
You get a gold star.
You mean bonus resolve?
Yes, you'll get bonus results.
It's fine.
I feel so left out.
As you should.
Did you mute your phone? Okay, well then you
just the
you
guys.
too. That's
I was
fine.
just turning mine
Squad.
off. It was already
So since I forgot to bring the chips, and that's okay, we will suffice. We will use different colored dice to represent y'all's resolve. So real quick, how much resolve does Shalendra have?
Normally 3.
Okay, but you're getting a bonus one because you actually thought to mute your phone beforehand. By the way, the Michael Serbrook, aka the professor who's behind the camera, you have to go sit in timeout because that was your phone I heard.
Oh. Oh, sad day.
Oh, snap.
Walk of shame.
As the professor wanders off to timeout. Okay. Caitlyn.
1.
So, but you get 2 because you had a clever. Oh, he actually left? That kathunk was the hotel door on that stupid little bar that you do so that it doesn't lock. Anyway, how much?
2.
Okay. You did not mute your phone beforehand, did you?
Yeah, I did. I always have it muted.
Oh.
I just took it out to make sure that I did.
Okay.
I turned it off.
And, so you all did. It was just the adults that screwed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much.
How much resolve does the time lapse have? Okay, so you will get 2.
Yay, resolve.
Tinko.
Yeah.
And I'm out of the pretty orange one, so you will have the more.
Give me the big
neutral
chunky boys.
color. Okay, you know what? We'll give you the big chunky boys. How much do you have?
2 normally.
So you get those 3 to represent.
Yeah.
Chunky boys.
Chunky boys for the chunky boys.
And we'll use these dice to represent more resolve later.
Yay!
And I will use these dice to represent my adversity. There's 5 of you, so I get 5 of those.
Oh, no.
Those are things I get to spend to try to make things easier on myself.
Okay.
Oh no.
Or more to the
And
point,
it's kind of our job to make sure he doesn't.
because
He spends all of those.
Yeah,
Because their
we make sure he
adversity-
spends them quick.
because their adversity actually it's more that they make things more difficult for you. All right.
Wait a minute.
Kind of fun.
So there is a facility for the United Nations in Belgium, and that facility is hosting a major symposium on basically there's a United Earth movement going on right now. There's a lot of people, a lot of progressive movements that are trying to, if not end nationalism completely, at least subsume it so that a more powerful unified world government can more effectively deal with, for example, global threats, but also interaction with the interstellar community, because in recent years, there's been a lot of interaction with extraterrestrials, as well as extra-dimensional communities. So there is a strong push within both the corporate world and within various more peaceful movements and things like that, very, as I said, very progressive movements, to create a unified body via the auspices of the United Nations, but to give it more power to act unilaterally on the behalf of humankind. Of course, there are a lot of people who don't like that idea. So it's been a major building political strife kind of thing. By the way, this is one of the big story arcs that you as a team will be dealing with, is the one world government versus the nationalist impetuses, and in some ways how that plays out politically and emotionally, but in some ways how it plays out when superpowered beings get involved in the argument. So that being the case, you guys, by the way, you're part of the Storm Wardens branch of UNISO, United Nations International Special Operations. So you do work for the global force that protects the world on the paranormal and preternatural level. You are Team 7. There's multiple Storm Warden teams. You guys are Storm Warden Team 7. However, that will fade to the background as your official designation at the point that you guys come up with a team name, which is something that should happen naturally and organically over the course of gameplay, and of course between sessions you guys can discuss it in the Facebook group. So, I am going to open up with the action, right? This is a basic depiction of the main building, and they've got the fence around it, but it was open because there were peaceful protesters that got permission to come and do a protest while these various basically mid-level diplomats from different, around the world. These were like, this is the ground game, right? The high-level people who would be the signatories to anything, that's a long way off in the conversation. This is very much of an administrative thing, but word got out that this meeting was happening, and again, there were protesters on both sides of the issue who showed up. So there's a lot of civilians present. You can imagine all out here, but also a group of them are inside, along with the press, while there's actually people trying to have something of a press meeting or a press conference to talk about what's going on. You have been asked to be on standby in case anything happened.
Understood.
Well, something happened. We cut to a growing horde of protesters who came in sort of as a single mass from like 3 different directions, and then started spreading out and started crowding out the normal protesters. Most of the normal protesters are pulling back because these folks are showing signs of aggression. They are wearing various clothing that depict them as part of one punk or anarchist movement or another, along with like strong nationalist kind of symbologies as well. The newscasters are already saying it looks like the forces of Ragnarok are on site. We keep your eyes out on this one because a number of them are known to be at least low-powered agents. Agents, by the way, is advanced genetic entity. That's the word in this world for what others might call mutants or paranormals or whatever. They're also called the advanced. So Ragnarok is a known political movement, but it's an aggressive one. And sometimes when they go all in on a protest, they will bring in low-level preternatural capable people to cause problems. So at this point, as you guys are, as I said, on standby, we have pockets of minions, effectively, starting to
Group up
and start causing some problems out here. There's another group back here that looks like they're actually pushing on the fence there, and another group over here. Each group has 5 very powerful looking, interesting individuals in them. And they're starting to give the security guards a really hard time, and then someone fires a shot. Nobody knows exactly who started, but some sound of a gun went off, and next thing you know, there's people...
Chaos ensues.
There's like low-level fire and lightning blasts. People, one punk starts doing stretching powers and hits a couple of guards. Y'all have been called in. So we begin with Paleo. Now this is your opening scene. When the people are seeing the movie or reading the comic book, it'd be the splash page. In the movie, it would be the moment where you show up on the scene. Mm-hmm. So describe for us what that looks like. And where is it you're going to be going?
Can I ask, are we coming in as like after air support, or
you tell me?
Okay.
You get to decide.
I feel like because I don't want this to, erupt into something bigger than it already has, I think I'm going to go in my human form.
Okay.
And I think it opens with me kind of approaching one of the groups. And you said there was someone using stretching powers?
Yes.
I think since that's the more apparent power, I would begin by going over there. So it opens on me kind of briskly walking through towards this stretching.
How are you dressed? Are you in UNISO standard uniform? Are you in the costume of some kind? What do you look like?
I think I'm in kind of more rugged, like field work kind of outfit.
Like a paleontologist.
Like a paleontologist. The khaki pants, a lighter kind of cover to keep me protected from the sun, as well as just to keep me cool.
Right.
And then, of course, I've got a hat on.
Right.
It's
good
standing.
That
yeah.
helmet, that classic helmet. Okay.
And I think that's kind of what I'm wearing, as well as some just kind of basic boots.
Okay.
As I walk in.
Well, as soon as you start walking over there, of course, nobody knows who you are yet, so it's just you're dressed like that. It says, "What's up, Indiana Jones? You want some?"
Get him, Beast Boy!
Sir, I'm going to need to ask you to calm down.
He reaches back, his hand stretches out more, and he comes in to slap even as the others start to jump on you.
I think then I'm going to, transform for the first time.
Okay.
So I believe that is 12d.
Don't need to roll to transform.
Okay.
That's going to happen automatically. What do you transform into?
I transform into a let's go Triceratops.
You transform, so they're like, whoa!
So I just grow and I take up space. I get big.
All right. Well, they're like, get him! get him? Okay. Ah! So they're still going to like try to dogpile. Do you want? The point is, at this point, do you wish to launch an attack, or you just want to fully defend yourself?
I think I'm going to go for defense here.
Okay. Well, there's a maneuver. It's called all-out defense, and you can just choose to do that, which means that you're going to get +2 dice. So when you transform, you get the stats of the creature. But
Yes.
you have the enhanced ability, if I recall.
Yeah.
So you get to pick the best stat. You get to pick one of the stats or powers that the creature has and make it equal to your die level.
Yeah.
So what are we going? Are we going with might? Or are we going with the I think this. I don't remember if they have strike or not. Or are we going to go with the armor?
I think is armor toughness in this one, or armor.
Yeah,
I see.
So normally that creature would have a 7-die armor. You could decide to make it a 12-die armor.
I think I'll go for the 12-die armor.
Since you're going full defense, you can shift it around. By the way, when you transform, you can move the thing around. To make it what you want. It's going to stay that way until you go again. But right now you're going 12 dice. Now because you went all out, you get +2 dice.
Okay. I'll borrow another 2 dice.
Oh, sorry. Even though I muted my phone, there was an alarm that went off. Sorry about that, folks. Life happens.
So 14 dice in total?
Yes, you're going to get to roll 14 dice. Let me roll for the minions. Now, minions, basically, groups of lots of guys, like in a bunch of Hydra agents, a bunch of alien monsters, all the classic scenes you see in the comic books and movies, where they just come in a big old mass. They have what's called a threat rating, which represents basically what they would roll for basic whatever as a group. When they attack, however, they get the benefit of they have powers or weapons, and they have a gang up bonus. There's 5 of them. Their threat rating is 60, but because there's 5 of them in this group, they get to roll 10 dice. So I'm rolling 10 dice for the attack, and you're rolling, in this case, 14 dice just to stand there and take it. Wait. I'm sorry. Your armor is 12 dice. Their threat rating is 6 dice. Because they're at half or less of your armor rating, you don't have to roll. You literally can just stand there and Superman this thing.
Can I add kind of a flavor thing to it?
Please, by all means. So one of them's got stretching, another one's got a spiky punch, another one's got fire hands or something. There's all kinds of little weird powers going on.
I think Stretchy, because he's the one who called me Indiana Jones, and it's Paleo Joe, get it right. As he's gonna I think try and stretch around me and maybe do kind of a grappling motion, I'm just gonna horn up in the air and just and bellow right in his face.
And they all scatter and peel out. And again, their attacks were completely pointless and useless. Time lapse. Time lapse is arriving on the scene somehow. Let's give me the scene.
Okay. So,
These purple circles basically represent groups of minions that are causing problems.
I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna go over to where Joe is.
So you're actually going into this one as well?
Probably in the middle.
You want that one? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you, how did you get there? Because I'm saying he looks like he just sort of walked out of the building maybe or something and then just walked forward.
I was probably around the entrance. Just walking forward, approaching with caution.
Okay, so you're not using any of your powers to stop, temporarily stop time so you can teleport or anything. You're just walking out. What do you look like when you're walking out there?
I have my Uniso uniform on.
So you're wearing an actual full-on standard Uniso field uniform, okay?
And I have my stun baton and I have my blaster open.
So you look like just another Uniso guard.
Yes.
Well, security person. And?
I approach with caution.
All right, so you're approaching with caution. They're like, they're all standing around. They've got pipes and stuff like that. And they're like, all right, it's on. Let's go. Get out of the way. Uniso puke, or we're going to take you out. And they're like, look like they're going to try to overwhelm you.
I stop time. For them, specifically.
Okay. So that costs the actual power of stopping time, which you're using your elemental control to do. That costs a resolve, if I recall correctly.
I don't think so.
You know what? Let's just
Let's
check
refer
that
to the
for a
rule
second,
book.
because time stop is
I
a
don't
very,
have
very
that
powerful
down.
ability, which is why it costs.
Freaking resolve.
I wasn't using the stopping the time of them.
But that's if you're stopping time for them, if you're literally using the time stop power, that does cost a resolve.
Okay.
To use. Now, if you want to say that stopping time for them looks like it is based on another power, we can do that. But there's literally a time stop power.
I was going to use the elemental control.
Right, the elemental control is used to recreate other powers.
Got it.
It lets you mimic other powers in the book. So via the elemental control, you are creating the time stop power.
Okay.
That being the case, if that's what you want to do, literally, in this case, freeze them in time, that does cost you a resolve.
You can recreate the skill, but it still costs the same as the skill normally.
Would you be mad at me if I went on hold?
No, I would not be mad at all.
I'm going to go on hold.
Okay.
I'm mad at you.
Do you want to be looking at some things so you have a better handle on what's going on?
Yes.
And remember, I know we're all busy and stuff like that, but with your character, you're really going to want to start looking through the power sets. So you know all the different things that fit within that. So we are saying that time lapses come out there and time freezes for a second, but more of a narrative perspective as opposed to an actual, taking your turn. And you say that you're on hold. That's perfectly fine. We go to Sunburst.
Alright, I'm gonna go for those guys trying to get in through the back.
Okay. So what does it look like when you show up?
I kind of just walk out of the back of the building and up to them, just like, hey, can you not?
Well, they're outside.
Yeah.
So you're just walking out?
Yep. Just gonna.
What do you look like?
Wearing very pretty loose clothing, like a pair of workout pants and a very flowy shirt. And I have wraps around my arms, all the way to about right here.
So you're not identifiable as a Uniso operative or even a superhero or anything like that?
No, I just look like a person who's strolling up.
So you walk out, and so actually you're right, that does actually put you still inside. They are trying to tear the fence up. It's not like a major, electrified, high security fence. Standard, hey, this is separate, don't walk over here. So this is you outside. They start throwing rocks, some of them energized with energy, some of them, somebody's throwing electrical bolts. They're not really throwing them at you, but they're just not throwing them in the general area, but some of them are starting to come close to you. So it's clear they have no inclination to stop.
Alright. Well, with that, I'm kind of just going to look at them and then look at where the rest of my team is generally, and then start running towards them.
You start running towards them, yeah?
Yep. Using just martial arts right now, I go over the fence.
Okay. So you haven't even started using powers. You're just going in with martial arts.
Yep.
Cool. I like
Powers too much energy, and I'm low on Red Bull.
I love it.
All right. So using your martial arts, you jump them, and you get to roll. What is your dice in martial arts?
10.
So you roll 10 dice, and I roll 6 dice for their threat rating. So I roll my 6 dice. We are counting evens, remember?
All right.
I got a 4. On 6 dice, I rolled a 4, which counts as a single success. They rolled crap. What'd you get?
So am I counting all of my...
So
evens.
Every die that comes up as an even number, that counts as a success. Any 6s count double. They count as 2 successes.
She kicked your butt.
I have 8.
So you rolled 8 successes versus my 1 success.
So
for a net success total of 7. Each success when you fight a group of minions is 1 minion down. There were only 5 minions in that group.
I might give one who threw a rock a little too close, just a double hit, but...
Okay, so describe what this looks like as you completely take out this group of low-powered, Ragnarok protesters.
Well, seeing as they're, me knowing that they're not very high power, I don't want to even waste the time or energy to use my power. So, with a couple good aims, throw and punches and
so you
stuff.
Just lay into them with full-on martial arts glory.
Yep, pretty much.
So here you are, one of the most powerful, characters on the team. And you don't even bother using them. You just kick their butts because you're also trained in martial arts. All right, why not?
And then the one who threw a little too close,
Right.
I give them an extra kick in the stomach.
Fun.
Just be like, hey,
Just grab
don't
their
do that.
ankle.
And down they go. Now, do me a favor. I'm going to ask you to make a perception check for me
That's
as you finish that up. So you'll look at your stats up top and you'll see perception. Do you have any
5.
super senses? That would be in your powers list.
Yes.
What do you got there?
I got sight, hearing, and thermal vision.
How many dice is listed there?
7.
So you actually roll 7 dice then.
Alright.
Your base perception is one thing, but if you have super senses, they can enhance that. In this case, they do. So you roll those 7 dice.
Evens.
Got your evens. Looking for a 3. I'm looking for a 3 or better.
1, 2, 3. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right. So as you finish up taking them all out, you start looking around and you realize that approaching from a little bit further down is a group of more prominent-looking individuals. Actually, so you see them coming from about here. They're coming like from around the building.
Heck.
They're wearing different outfits and stuff like that. They're
the bigger, not minions.
You're what's your intellect?
4.
Okay, so actually you're pretty knowledgeable. You recognize right off the bat one of them as Defiant. He is a well-known Belgian who believes in Europe first and Belgium above all. And he's a leader of a group of a team, a supervillain team called Cacophony. So you figure the rest of them are probably the rest of Cacophony, which includes Domina. She is a mentalist from Greece. Defiant is just really tough and really strong, but he also seems to have this ability to influence crowds. Feral, she's loping along on all fours half the time. She's basically a freaky-looking sort of cat woman.
I don't do walking on all fours for people. No.
Krieg.
We're on the same team. Okay.
Krieg is, by the way, Feral's from Portugal, Dominus from Greece. Krieg is from Germany, obviously, and he's a full-on, looks like a Halo trooper from the game, like full-on battle suit with all kinds of wild weapons. There's a guy walking along with a tattered British Union Jack T-shirt and leather coat. He's got piercings all over and a crazy, way too big mohawk. He's known as Puke.
Oh God, I don't want to know what his.
And as a blur, you see this guy basically dressed. He's basically dressed essentially like a really high-tech Italian race car driver, Formula 1 race car driver. But he's not driving a car. He's just running really, really that fast. Yeah. The English translation for his name would be the fast one, but quello veloce. And he actually runs up and says, "Hello, you should go away now."
I was here first, so you can go away.
This is not going to go well for you.
Nothing really does, so square up.
All right, so meanwhile, Mordriel.
Well, you see, I wasn't posted in the building. I'm just kind of flying around because I can see everything, just because aerial view is a lot better.
Right.
So I'm going to swoop in on that.
On the other side of the building?
Group. Yeah, on the outside of the building. And I'm going to use my elemental control of Holy Fire to trap them all in a fiery ball.
Okay.
And then drop them at the local police station of Lebec.
I like it. That works just
That's
fine.
An entrance?
Cool, dude.
I don't need an entrance, it just happens.
Alright, so using elemental control. Does the elemental control
Like-
have the area effect built into its notes?
That's an excellent question.
Well, no, it will say in the power.
Oh, in the notes? No, I have block, melee, and signature.
Okay, that's what I need to know. So it's not an area attack, it's just, but you can still use it to attack the whole group, but it doesn't have the mechanic advantage of area. So what is the dice of the elemental control?
12.
You roll your 12 and I'll roll my 6.
I don't need to. It's at half. It doesn't matter. Your die count is half of mine.
That's
No. That's only.
only for
That's
the armor.
only when the bad guys are attacking his armor.
Okay, gotcha.
The armor power has that special quality.
Never mind.
I'm just
You do actually
imagining him
roll.
just like picking up and just like, I'm just gonna pick you up. and
Armor is
treat you like
as special as a
pauper.
defense because it has that effect of if it's at least double what the attack is, the attack cannot hurt him.
I got 4.
I rolled 2, 4, 5, 6. So as you,
Darn it.
unless you want to spend a resolve to re-roll, but I rolled really well. So well,
Yeah.
you have 12 dice though, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a struggle with which way you want to go there. Do you want to let stand? Or do you want to?
I'll reroll.
All right, so you'll turn in a resolve to re-roll. So,
better.
Bye-bye, Benny.
Pretty much.
so you roll in.
Say sorry,
So
just
resolve is something that you can use to do lots of different things, including try for a better roll, add dice to your roll,
That's
try
a
to make
better
something
roll.
cool happen in the environment, like a lucky break, get back up from being defeated or knocked
That's
unconscious.
better.
There's a lot of things
better.
you can spend your resolve for.
Considerably.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7. 7 over my 2, 4, 5, 6 means you will grab one of them.
Okay.
So one of you managed to grab one of them. So you're probably not going to fly off to the police station just with the one.
Yeah, I just in that case, I just kind of I grab him and flee him out of the way, and then I just land in the middle of everything. My wings are just unfurled everywhere, and everybody just kind of backs up and is like, "What's going on?"
And the other 4 exactly that. So like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
And-
Nobody say anything about fighting an angel.
And then as soon as
not a fighter,
I land, I just wreathe myself in blue flame.
I didn't sign on for this at all. This is not cool. Shut up, mon ami. We are fighting for the nationalities of. Oh, shut up. I'm just here for a fight, man. All right. So anyway, that was MORDRIEL. Shalendra.
So, I'm flying with my Omniverse energy up in the skies,
Yep.
and I see the group that is outside, out on the main actual perimeter,
This one.
and I fly right into the middle of them.
Oh. Hold on. So you're dropping down to the middle of me.
Yes.
Okay.
And as I land in my silvery green-blue tinted tunic shirt, basically,
Yep.
with black leggings and black flats,
Okay.
so very much Elven inspired,
Yep.
I land and I'm like, why are you all here? And my plan is to use motion control on them to make them calm down.
All right then. So how many dice of emotion control do you have?
11.
Right. Since this is not something that is typical to this group's strong suits, they're a group of minions that are very physical in nature. They only get half their threat rating against this.
Emotions. I don't know how to deal with them.
Which is it comes down to they don't have particularly strong willpower compared to the other stuff that they can do.
We don't emotion.
It's like puberty all over again, man.
Okay.
I think you won.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 over my 3 means 4 successes. Does that power have area on it?
It has signature on it.
Okay. So that means people can follow you if they see that's your particular signature.
Yeah.
So 4 of them all like, what are we doing here? This is kind of stupid, really. I mean, si, senor, I think, one will government. The one guy's like, shut up, you idiots! So 4 of them, basically, you've defeated. They're like, yeah, we're not really all about this anymore. But there's just that one guy left, and actually, it's a woman. There's one woman left. She's like, shut up, you idiots! And she looks like she's going to try to come after you, which she will, because at this point, it is now time for the minions. I introduced the main bad guys as a narrative thing, but they're not. They're not in yet.
I'm just dealing with them at this point.
Well, you will all have a chance to deal with them. If
Well, did you relay that you found them over the radio? When you
I'm
found
really
them?
hoping you were fighting this
No, I just
boy.
sassed one of them.
Right, so you guys all have communicators and stuff like that, and also as UNISO agents, there are globes. Globes actually stands for it's a acronym, GLOBE, but there are actually floating globes as well. They kind of sort of look like the things that Luke Skywalker trained with in the very first Star Wars movie. So hang on, please. Let me finish. So each of you has one of those nearby at all times. So it acts as a it reads what's going on. It feeds information back to Central Command, and it also acts as an ambient communication system. So those of you who are paying attention to all of you will have some sort of device that is appropriate to your costume. It could be cool sunglasses. It could be direct feed to your helmet if you wore that kind of thing. It could be a monocle. It could be an earpiece if you don't want anything that's
chef's hat with
whatever. Google Glass, whatever it is that you imagine. If you have something that you wear across your eyes, you will actually get low-level holographic data, kind of like Iron Man, Tony Stark gets when he's in a suit. Won't be quite as complex, but basic stuff. If not, you'll be getting at least a constant audio feed into whatever earpiece kind of thing you've got going. So I'm going to let each of you decide what makes sense for you. So the point is, yes, unless your character has reasons to not be aware of what's going on around you, and that's your narrative choice, you are aware that the Cacophony group has shown up.
Okay.
That being the case, what were you trying to say?
I do have telepathy 10D with the Pro Mind Link.
Right, but you didn't tell me that
Correct.
you wanted to come in with that, so we're going to say you haven't established that at this point. You can do so, and since we're going to say that you guys are a team, you will assume that at this point in your career you've agreed that when she throws a mind link out, you guys will take it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to say you've done that now?
Yes.
Okay, so everybody gets put on the mind link. Now that's straight up mind-to-mind, with brief visual images. You can intentionally send a visual image of what you're seeing.
Can I send them what I just saw then?
Yes.
Awesome.
So yes, when she establishes the link right now, you're like, oh, well, look at this, guys. So let me go ahead and put them on the board.
Wait a minute.
This
Sorry.
is why I got a flying boy.
Fast one is right there.
I don't think I'm a good man.
I'm
That
just
would be
gonna
Defiant.
go for the leg.
Krieg
Sweep
is
the legs.
Krieg is sweeping over this way. Farrell is already leaping over the fence.
Damn it.
No, I'm not dealing with.
I got you.
For you.
You might be able to help with Speed Boy.
Beast boy.
And
I'll
Domina.
just burn
Get
it
him,
over
Beast
in his
Boy.
face. It'll be great.
I think that's true.
Domina's hanging back a little bit. And actually, Domina's trying to disappear into the crowd. And Puke. Yeah, Puke is just charging forward towards the open gate. He's got a giant titanium pipe. It's huge. It's like ridiculous, like anime stupid huge. And he's holding it in one hand, so obviously he's pretty strong among other things.
Also, his name's Pew. So
As he's rolling forward, everyone around him is like, there's just this field around him that's apparently causing people to go, oh God. He's like, that's right! My name's Puke and you're gonna!
Can I petition to make him PU instead of just P?
Motion granted.
On the board, no.
Motion granted.
So
Paleo Joe.
let's deal with the minions who are going to be fighting the people that are around them. We'll start with the group that is on Mordriel.
Real quick, can I come off hold?
Actually, yes, you can.
Thank you. I'm going to use Flash Forward to rust his pipe.
Okay.
Alright.
So we'll basically be treating that as a kind of a transmutation effect, because everything you can come up with creatively, we can make a power
We can make it work.
represent that. So in
Rust
this case,
fully.
you are trying to effectively destroy his pipe,
Yes.
which is going to be a transmutation effect against this thing that he's carrying. Since his strike is based on it being an item, it's going to be pretty tough. So we're going to use its structure rating, which titanium pipe. That's going to be 10. That's going to be at least 10 dice, I think. Actually, if you don't mind, let me see the book real quick.
Oh dear.
Don't break it.
There is actually a cool chart that goes through and it tells you what the toughness ratings of different things are. So we will check that out.
I haven't puked in 7 years, and this guy's definitely not going to make me. You feral mite.
So here's the problem. Titanium is 14 dice. So it's got an intense structure to try to resist the effect that you're doing against it. However, because it's a really clever description, and I like the fact that you're trying to affect it with time as opposed to just destroying it, we're going to give you plus 2 dice on your roll.
Also, you could go for his piercings, too.
Oh, that would be mean.
It doesn't actually do anything but lower his morale. Just, I really like those.
Titanium is a structure
Also,
of
it's
14
painful.
dice. So I'm
Like
going to roll
rusty.
that. Oh my god, are you kidding me?
Oh yeah!
My dice are doing that thing my
Yep.
dice like to do to
To the
me.
yes, time lapse.
Oh, that sucks.
Finish
Oh,
him.
that's crunch.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Nom nom nom.
5, 6,
GM
7, 8,
resolve.
9,
Gimme, gimme.
What'd you get?
10.
Really?
Nom
This
nom
is
nom.
when the GM's glasses go on the table.
Pretty much, yeah. That's,
Nom nom
Yeah.
nom. GM resolve. Gimme.
oh no, I'm not. I'm not spending.
missing one.
I'm not spending adversity on saving the freaking pipe. So,
That crunch it makes.
so he just lost his strike.
Heck yeah!
Describe what this looks like.
So, I turn towards him, look like I'm concentrating, turn my hand, and his pipe slowly disintegrates from the top down in his hand.
What the bloody hell is that?
The flakes fall to the ground slowly. They're shiny!
I want to imagine
Rust is shiny?
I want to
Okay.
imagine like glitter.
That's
just, like,
your
falling
butt,
on him.
little girl. I'm gonna take you down hard.
We'll see about that, honey.
Gotta catch me first.
I'm an equal opportunity butt kicker here.
This is when you just go.
So, starting with Mordriel and the group of minions that is on Mordriel, there's still 4 of them, so they still get their 10 dice. What are you using to defend yourself?
I was using the active defense of the flame that I wreathe myself in.
Okay, so what's going to happen is, when you wreath yourself in that flame, I'm going to say that they're like, whoa, 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 and they all pull back because, well, you're on fire, and that doesn't look pleasant. So they're not going to all be able, the ones who are more physical are not going to try to jump in. So I'm actually going to say that's going to dissuade them enough that's going to drop 2 dice off their attack. But
Nice.
that means they are going to, throw energy blasts at
That's
you
fine.
or things like that. So the R is not going to protect you against all of these attacks.
Both block and melee.
Oh, you do have block and melee. So you would use that. So that's your elemental control, block and melee. So you're throwing up the fires to just intercept all the attacks coming in.
Yep.
All right, so go ahead and roll.
And of course, when I do it, I'm not actually throwing up my hands. I'm just kind of sitting there with my hands in my pocket, just looking at everything, and it just automatically happens.
Got it. So you roll your elemental control, and because you have the block and the melee
It's the
effect,
cool
you don't
kid,
lose any
guys.
dice off of it.
We found him. My name's Paleo Joe. We knew it wasn't me from the beginning.
So
You
I
can be the
rolled a
coolest
lot of
person
crap,
here.
but I did roll 3 sixes.
You are the cool kid.
So I got
Really
6 successes.
favorite in my book.
Well,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right. So you're throwing up all these different, well, you're not throwing, you're just standing there, but your flames are dancing around and intercepting all the attacks, and they're very frustrated. Okay. The group that is on the Triceratops.
Are they going to attack me again?
That seems pointless.
Yeah.
Just saying like traitor, just you should
Matter of
go.
fact, I'm just going to say flat out, that group just does not think this is a good idea.
Oh, but I was going to pull out
Yes.
the chunky boy next
they're
turn.
they're
You can pull out the chunky
bandits.
boy on the.
They just flat out
Powerful
decided to
guys.
surrender.
Yeah.
It's okay, we surrender.
Very smart.
they run away screaming.
This group, seeing that Farrell's running in, decides, no, we don't need to be here anymore either.
That's
Oh,
honestly me
boy.
too. Just like, hey guys, I'm gonna go.
That
Honey, I
group of
forgot I
minions,
left the
however,
oven on.
is going to jump on time lapse.
My mom says I have to go.
So
My mom's going.
you need to figure out what you're defending yourself with. Do you have? So what notes are on your elemental control?
There are no notes.
Okay, so you can use it to defend yourself, but you're going to lose dice.
I'm gonna use evasion.
Oh, you have evasion? Okay, well then you should use evasion.
Smart
I think so
choice.
too.
Smart boy.
How many dice of evasion do you have?
8.
Okay. So you are just dodging out of the way.
And dodging handily. From what I'm seeing.
This one.
I did get 8 successes on that.
That was a 2. I got 7.
All right, so that would be, they would
Wait.
successfully get
Yeah.
through and do 1 point of damage to you. So you would want to take a pencil or something and mark that you know, what is your health?
7.
So you're down to 6. So you're pretty tough. You're all right. But they did manage to do some damage to you.
Aw.
Does whatever
This-
chunky boy does.
These other minions are just going to basically hang out here. But Shalendra, the one that's on you, she's gonna take a poke at you. So what are you using to defend yourself?
With my blast that has black melee and signature on it.
Oh, well. Go for it. What do you manifest with your magic to defend against her punch?
Let's get the numbers out of the way first.
Okay.
Nicely
6. I got 6 successes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right. So what does it look like?
So
Bam.
she sees this one individual that has apparently not understood her real message. Summons up this teal energy that kind of looks like druid energy in a way, and it just flashes right in front of her punch or her weapon, and it basically blocks it.
All right. Well, she was actually just coming in with like a super strength punch and cracks it up against that thing. She's like, "Ow!" All right.
Then you should
Mom,
know
you hurt
that
my
surrendering
knuckles on her
is the
face.
better option, darling.
And you know what? Hand me a tissue because this eraser's not doing well at all. She actually does.
Yay, good job.
It's like, hey, you should go.
You should, like, not.
Let's not and say we did, shall we? So,
Does your mother know you're out this late?
I'm
She,
sorry, I think I left the oven on.
The tea kettle's
She takes off.
whistling.
These minions, like I said, they pretty much pull back. Well, we move around to the top of the order again. And unfortunately, Quello Filoche is incredibly fast.
I do not like.
Pretty frag tag.
So he is going to get to go first.
I do not like.
This is not gonna go well for me, is it?
So,
You're gonna help me, right?
dear lady.
I'm over there.
I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here, I'm over here. And he's like, super speed punches at you. So what are you going to use to defend yourself?
Give me a second.
Sonic
Speed
Um,
tornado.
Right now, I'm just gonna block until I can get like a general idea of the pattern, and then once I establish a pattern with him, I'm gonna use my strike.
Okay, so right now you're defending yourself against his attacks.
Yeah.
Does that mean you're deciding to use your martial arts to do this?
Yeah,
Okay, roll your martial arts. It is your martial arts against his super speed.
please. I want to live. You got this.
Oh.
Oh, no.
Ooh, yes.
Oh.
Oh,
1, 2, 3,
no.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Are you kidding me?
Oh. I like these dice. I like these.
I am spending one of my first villain adversity to reroll.
Yes.
Because
Yeah, let's wait.
he's got 12 dice of
now.
super speed, and you're just using advanced martial arts to block him.
Because
That's insulting.
I like the idea of just.
I'm just here to be here.
Oh, wait, he has a quirk very competitive. So.
Just like.
So he has to use that.
Not even like she's moving fast, she's just.
Just like matrixing it. Just.
Well, that's the thing. It's not about
It's
moving
the worst.
fast.
Did you get a lower? Oh my
I
god.
did. I got a lower result. So basically,
Do another one.
it's exactly what you described.
Use all of
Oh no, you should do another one.
No, he's not. You're done.
Please roll again.
He's resolved, not that
As
resolved.
as someone we know and love is fond of saying, pause. Thank you. So no, we're not using another one. We're moving on. So he looks badass. You were like,
I was
almost.
matrixing it out of the way.
Yes.
Just.
And as he stops, he's like. He starts saying a sort of stream of curses in Italian. But unfortunately, I do not know enough Italian to even try to pull that off. So
I know a little, but we're.
you can imagine he's saying terrible things. All right.
Thank you, Marina.
Farrell enters the fray. Farrell sees a big old.
Yes! Yes!
Big old chunky boy.
Chunky boy!
To jump on and claw
Big old
up.
chunky boy.
I'm ready.
Destroy him, Chunky.
Oh no.
Now,
Destroy
she has a
I
much
feel
better
bad.
attack that you will have to roll to defend yourself against.
Okay.
Yes.
Get
So,
him with the chunky boy.
Farrell has a strike of 12 dice. So,
12 dice.
and you'll be rolling your 12 dice as well.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no.
I don't want to do all
You
of
haven't gone yet.
No, I have not.
So your all defense is still in play.
Oh, yeah.
So you still get your 14 dice.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice. I'm ready to fight.
That is one of the advantages of sacrificing your turn for all defense. Is it sticks around until you go.
You got it.
Chunky boy.
Chunky boy.
No, just a
Oh, chunky boy.
Oh, nicely
That's
done.
the
4, 5,
chunkiest
6,
of
7,
the chunky boys.
8, 9,
You have another one over here.
10, 11.
So I got 2, 4. No. Yes, I got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
11. I do one thing. I chunk.
Yes.
A lot on that one.
Get him, chunk.
So this is basically this like pseudo Catwoman thing that's just clawing all over you.
I was about to say more cheetah than Catwoman.
Yeah.
However, you will sense something interesting.
I do have super smell.
Right? There's something about her. You realize that her genetic, you like. There's something that's giving off her pheromones that is very similar to your own.
Uh-oh.
It has a different manifestation. She's focused on. she's focused on mammals instead of strangers. But she has that transformative matrix. As a matter of fact, you notice as she's like dribbling around. Occasionally, you will actually see like she'll shift for a second. There'll be like an alligator face that chomps down on you, and then there'll be like some sort of not alligator because she just said mammals only. So more like a tiger face that appears. At one point. There'll be horns like a big old, like one of those crazy deer type horns.
charm her.
So she is rapidly transforming into all these different kinds of animals trying to hurt you. None of it's working.
I use my turn to
Which is
start
good.
playing very
I think
light.
we're seeing the beginnings of
Someone get a saxophone.
Guys, let's focus on keeping
Okay.
one voice active at a time.
So Krieg, seeing Shalendra, just sort of standing there, it's like, make war, not peace.
And in his home language, he'll hear, really? Against an elf that outlives you?
Well, he's got this crazy thing. It's using any of you guys who have like any kind of a tech rating like a 4 die or better would recognize this as an applied kinetics blaster. It's a very, very advanced weapon system. It's basically raw kinetic force that he's penetrating. It's penetrating, by the way.
Oh.
So if you were using
My
armor
raw
to defend
intelligence
yourself, you'd be in trouble.
That's no
But
But
good.
you're still using you have your block effect on. So good for you because an active defense penetrating doesn't affect. Once he realizes that's a problem, he'll switch over to something else.
I could be mammoth and have strength 12 and armor 12.
What the? All right,
The biggest chunk.
I like this dice.
I'm spending another adversity. No,
Nom nom
these
nom.
dice are amazing. It's my rolling that's the problem.
Fair
The
enough.
fact that they're dice of Sean hating. So if I'm a player, they hate me as a player, and if I'm a GM, they absolutely destroy me. You spending resolve? You want to wait and see what I get,
Yeah, you
Sure.
should
Yeah.
wait
or
a
did
second.
you roll real crap?
It wasn't terrible.
4 successes.
Oh yeah, I can see where you probably want to reroll. Yeah, you definitely want to reroll.
There you go.
And
Well-
that's an 11 dice.
It's not actually. You might. What kind of health do you have?
4. I'm squishy.
3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So yeah, you may want to reroll. I got 6 successes.
That was
you wanna
crooked.
re-roll that one.
Better than
Oh.
Snake eyes.
Another 4. Ooh.
Really?
Ouch.
That'll be 2 health, I believe.
Yes, because I rolled 6, so you would take 2 health. So he hit you with that thing. You managed to deflect part of it, but it got through and slammed into you. And you guys hear a sharp intake of breath and a sound of pain from her, and she almost gets thrown to the ground.
So yeah, she gets hit. Her arm actually kind of knocks back into her with the force of the kinetic energy. And it actually kind of pops her body back.
Yep.
And she's like, alright, I'm gonna have to deal with you now.
It is Paleo's turn.
Okay, so first things first, I'm going to go from one chonky boy to the next, and I'm going to transform into a mammoth.
Oh my goodness.
Making my 11D special one the armor, so I have 11D armor.
Okay.
And then I'm allowed to attack, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to do strike, which is 12D.
Well, that's unpleasant for her. She doesn't like that at all. She's not for that. But Okay, that was a number that I forgot to catch earlier because it was a higher power.
The hammer of justice
but she has
is
12.
unisex.
So let's do it. 12 versus 12.
Okay.
They're fairly evenly matched team views.
Dun 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 dun.
Chunky boy.
Just use seduce. You got this.
Roll to seduce.
This is not seduction. Stomping her is not a seduction move.
You never know. It depends on the mammal.
I'm gonna smack you.
I'm going to use a resolve to reroll.
What did you roll?
I had 3.
Oh, well, she actually managed to get 5.
Yeah.
So, all right, you spend a resolve.
Just as a little side note, we do not condone physical violence of GM and players.
I mean, yeah.
Depends on how much aggravating. You gotta re-roll that one.
This is why you guys want rolling trays, because this crevice thing. And
1, 2, 3,
Just wanted to make that clear.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
10.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to spend a resolve to
Nom
reroll.
nom. He's got 2 left, folks.
That was awful, and you're a bad person, and you should feel bad about yourself.
But I don't.
That's the thing.
I do one thing, and I do it well.
That's really all you need.
I got a little bit better this time. So 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you got
10.
So she still takes 2 points of damage, and she squalls in agony and anger. So that was Paleo. Time lapse.
Paleo.
Okay.
Paleo.
And you just stopped me getting knocked back.
To
Right?
the bed.
Yeah.
So Domina has made her way over here and seems to be looking intently at MORDRIEL. Krieg is still focused very much on Shalendra. Defiant's just standing there, looking, well, defiant and arrogant. See, he did this like weird, like half smile on his face. Farrell's jumping up and down on top of Paleo. Okay, I realize now when you wanted to actually say PU, just P&PUE. Puke is standing here, really hacked off, and is looking like he's going to come right at you.
Destroy
And then out
him.
that way, the fast one and Sunburst are going toe to toe.
Is there a...
Do, 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 do. You can't do a lot of this dead air thing while you're thinking about what to do.
Okay. Is there a way I can get to fast one with her?
Well, you have the mastery of time, which means
So
you can
yes.
basically teleport
Oh yeah, I
over
forgot
there.
I can teleport.
Yeah,
Okay.
teleport is definitely one thing that I would give you as a
So we're just
thing
gonna
you can do
double
with
team.
time
Like
control.
Puke's gonna follow you, and then we'll take care of
How
fast
do
one
you
and Puke.
Figure out the health again.
Let's go.
So you stop time for everyone
Yeah,
but
no,
you.
but it changes because I have a different.
Make your way. Do you want to be inside the fence or out?
Yeah,
Out.
because I keep my willpower
There you are. Now what?
and my intelligence.
That was a movement. Movement does not count as an action. So now what?
Remember,
So I'm going to
I think it's.
Is it just toughness?
rewind on the.
It's either
No, I'm going
toughness
to
or-
fast forward. I meant fast forward.
Yeah.
The ground on his feet to have wow, I just lost my words.
English is hard. It's okay.
English is
Well,
hard.
also,
Take Latin it.
I know you guys are communicating,
Sorry.
but you're kind of talking over her. So let's not do that.
I just lost it.
Fast forward the ground to.
Change the position of the Earth. What are we doing?
Or make it
Turn it into
quicksand.
mud is what I was trying to say.
All right. So you want it to basically go so far forward in time that the tar and everything that's in the pavement just becomes goop.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's basically going to be an ensnare against him.
Okay.
So you used your elemental control to teleport over there. So that was one use on this page. The second use, you're going to lose a die off of it. So how many dice do you normally have?
12.
So you're now rolling 11 dice, unless you want to roll 9 dice and, oh no, actually no, you still roll just, or 10 dice. You start with 11, right? So 10 dice. If you want to spend a resolve, or someone on the team wants to spend a resolve for you to give it the area effect, that could be really useful because area effect attacks make it really hard for people who depend on active defenses to be successful. All right, so you're spending the resolve to add the area pro temporarily to this attack, so you get to roll 10 dice against him. Now, he has a choice, because this is an area attack, he can use his normal active defense, which for him is his super speed, because super speed does everything. But he'd only get to roll 6 dice unless he was willing to give up his next action. The only other thing he could potentially use to try to deal with this is his might, which he is a very tough agent. He does have actually superhuman strength of 8 dice. So he will try that to defend against your 10 dice. The might representing that he would be able to pull himself free.
Okay.
It's one of those reverse flash moments where you think you got him trapped and he just fizzes out of it. Like
Now, I'll remind you guys again, you can use your resolve for each other if you can figure